Right, so welcome to Asset Television News. My name is Omike Matthew. Here are the headlines. Police deploy drones to Benue State in search of kidnapped passengers. Algon denies seeking replacement of vice president. And Israel accused Iran of disobeying ceasefire agreement. For detail of these stories and more, please do stay with us. And now the news in detail. The Benue State Police Command on Monday said it has deployed drones to track down the location of the 11 passengers and driver adopted around Eke in Okpoku local government area of Benue State. A gunman suspected to be kidnappers had around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday adopted 11 passengers and the driver of a vehicle belonging to Benue State Transport Company known as Benue Links. The bus was intercepted at Eke in Okpoku local government area along the Otupa Enugu highway. The source who preferred anonymity said the gunmen, after intercepting the vehicle, robbed the passengers of their belongings and later whisked them away into the bush. Confirming the adoption, the management of Benue Link said the ill-fated vehicle left Abeokuta in Ogun State en route to Makudi on Sunday when it was intercepted by gunmen. The management confirmed the incident in a statement made available to journalists in Makudi on Monday. The information officer of the company, Johnson Daniel, in the statement said 12 passengers and the driver were on board when the vehicle was intercepted. Nigerians have continued to condemn the recent killings in Yelwata village that claimed over 200 lives in Benue State and urged the government to strengthen the security apparatus around its citizens. One of such Nigerians is Dr. Sami Charles, the chairman of ANOG Group, who expressed sympathy to the families of those that lost their lives during the attacks by armed Fulani headsmen. Charles urged the federal and state governments to urgently overhaul the security system of the country to protect the citizens irrespectful of where they live within the country. Charles, a former presidential aspirant on the platform of the Labour Party, also urged the marauding headsmen to stop the wanton killing of innocent citizens and operate within the ambit of the laws of the land. The Academic Staff Union of Universities the Academic Staff Union of Reverend Moses Adasu University, Makudi, Benue State, has called for immediate humanitarian support and the implementation of effective resettlement programs to aid the safe return of the displaced persons of all communities attacked by suspected armed herders in the state. This is contained in the statement issued by Ali Sule Ako and Daniel Chile, the union's chairperson and secretary respectively, and made available to journalists. The union condemned the recent attack on the people of Yelwata in Guma local government area of the state. The union, which lamented the recurring loss of innocent lives, wanton destruction of property, and a growing atmosphere of insecurity in the state, described the Yelwata tragedy as another painful blow to rural communities that must not be swept under the carpet. The union called on the nation's security agencies to act urgently, diligently, and fairly to prevent further bloodshed. They equally urged the federal governments to apprehend those responsible for the attack in Yelwata and the state as a whole and bring them to justice without delay. Power sector operators and experts have raised concerns, expressed fears, and projected opportunities as some states assumed responsibilities for regulating electricity markets within their various domains. This follows the recent revelation by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission that 7 states now control their electricity markets in accordance with the Electricity Act 2023. The states are Enugu, Ondo, Ekiti, Imo, Oyo, Edo, and Kogi. Other states include Lagos, Ogun, Niger, and Plateau, are expected to complete their transitions between June and September. Anambra, having recently passed its electricity law, is also gearing up to join the list. Asset Television News will return right after this short break. Please do stay tuned. Nice to have you back on Asset Television, and of course, we'll bring you the rest of the news. The Sokoto State chapter of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria has distanced itself from a recent call made by one of its members advocating for Senator Aliyu Magatakarda Wamako's nomination as the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2027 general elections. In a statement issued in Sokoto on Sunday, the state chairman of Algon and executive chairman of Tambuwa local government area, Alhaji Abashew Tambuwa, clarified that the call was the personal opinion of Alhaji Abdullahi Yerima, the secretary of the association and chairman of Kebi local government area. Algon emphasized that Senator Wamako, who currently represents Sokoto North Senatorial District at the National Assembly, has not declared any interest in contesting for the vice presidency office, and neither has the party initiated such discussions. The association urged public office holders, especially its members, to exercise restraint and avoid making unverified and sensitive political statements that could mislead the public and create confusion. An unspecified number of school infrastructures and staff quarters have reportedly been destroyed due to rainstorms in the Funtua local government area of Katsina State. This is contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Sani Danjuma Suleiman. According to the statement, the ministry is actively assessing the extent of the damage and will provide further updates on measures to address the situation. And to the foreign scene, Mali and Russia have signed a series of agreements aimed at expanding mutual trade and strengthening economic ties. Among them is a pledge for greater cooperation on nuclear energy, according to details released by the Kremlin. The announcement of the deals came during a visit by Mali's junta leader, Colonel Assimi Goita, to Moscow, which included 2 hours of talks with President Vladimir Putin, Russian state media reports. Goita has boosted relations with Russia since seizing power in 2021, while reducing ties with former colonial power France. Putin said that while trade ties with Mali were modest, there was an upward trend and future areas of cooperation in geological exploration, energy, logistics, and the humanitarian field. Mali and Russia have previously discussed the construction of a Russian-designed nuclear power plant as a strategic energy project for Mali. Israel's defense minister Katz has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire 2 hours after agreeing to the deal brokered by Donald Trump and Qatar. State media reports that Iran denies firing missiles at Israel after the ceasefire began. Katz vowed to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with intense strikes against regime targets in the heart of Tehran. Iran's Security Council warns any further aggression will be met with a decisive, firm and timely response. Tehran earlier said it would respect the ceasefire if Israel did the same. And now, sport news. Atletico Madrid forward Antoine Griezmann has lamented his side's elimination from the FIFA Club World Cup. Recall that Atletico Madrid were knocked out of the Club World Cup following their 1-0 victory against Botafogo on Monday. Griezmann scored the only goal of the encounter as Diego Simeone needed at least 2-0 against the Brazilian side to qualify for the round of 16. Atletico Madrid finished in the 3rd position in Group B behind Botafogo and Paris Saint-Germain despite having 6 points, but exit the tournament on -1 goal difference. Speaking at his post-match interview after the game, Griezmann admitted that Atletico Madrid players were angry over the outcome of the game. Inter Miami's 2-2 draw with Palmeiras saw both teams qualify for the round of 16 at the ongoing Club World Cup. Earlier in the day, Paris Saint-Germain and Botafogo also progressed from their group. PSG bounced back from a shock 1-0 defeat to Botafogo to beat Seattle Sundowns 2-0 on Monday night. The Champions League winners found it hard to break down the MLS side, but eventually they found the opener before the break. Vitinha saw his effort that was going wide deflect in off Vara. Ashraf Hakimi then slotted in a second after the break to seal an easy win for PSG. Botafogo also qualified as runners-up from the group despite losing 1-0 to Atletico Madrid on the same night. Inter Miami and Palmeiras now join PSG, Botafogo, Juventus, Manchester City, Bayern Munich and Flamengo as clubs that will play in the knockouts. Inter Miami head coach Javier Mascherano was happy with their performance after they confirmed their spot in the last 16 of the 2025 Club World Cup. The MLS side played out a 2-2 draw with Palmeiras on Monday, a result that ensured they both qualified for the knockouts. Tadeo Allende and Luis Suarez had given Miami a 2-goal lead, but with 10 minutes left in the game, Paulinho and Mauricio scored to help Palmeiras get a point. Inter Miami finished as runners-up behind Palmeiras and will now face Paris Saint-Germain for a place in the quarterfinals. Manchester United have submitted a second offer for Brentford's Brian Mbeumo in excess of £60 million. Mbeumo has been a priority target for Ruben Amorim this summer, but an initial £55 million package was rejected at the start of the month. United did not want to be dragged into repeated bids and have been working in the background to find an agreement with Brentford. While it remains unclear if the latest offer has been accepted, United are accelerating as they look to get Cameroon star Mbeumo in for the start of the pre-season. United's players are due to report back to quarantine from week commencing July 7 as Amorim begins work on turning this underperforming squad around. And to the camp of the Super Falcons, Nigeria's Super Falcons will arrive Morocco on Wednesday for their final preparations ahead of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Justin Madugu's side held their host Portugal to a 0-0 draw in a friendly at the Estadio Jose Gomez on Monday night. The players will have a light training session on Tuesday before departing for Morocco. The Super Falcons have another friendly scheduled for Sunday against perennial rivals Black Queens of Ghana. Nigeria's opening game at the WAFCON 2024 finals is against Tunisia in Casablanca on Sunday, July 6. The 9-time African champions will also face Botswana and Algeria in the group stage. And lastly, Anthony Joshua is not yet ready to return to the ring, with his promoter Eddie Hearn admitting that the former unified heavyweight champion's comeback remains uncertain as he continues to recover from elbow surgery. The 35-year-old has been out of action since his crushing knockout defeat to Daniel Dubois last year, which prompted surgery on an elbow injury that has delayed his return to training. He has also been seen on something of an African tour with his recent visit to Nigeria and Ghana. Speaking to Boxing Social, Hearn was candid about Joshua's current situation when asked about the heavyweight's next step. Honestly, nowhere. Training camp not ready to start but close, Hearn said. With that to end the sports package, I am Omike Matthew. Athlete. With that sports story, we end the news here at Asset Television News. Do join us at same time tomorrow. On behalf of the production team, I am Omike Joseph Matthew. Don't forget, you can always follow us on our social media handles. Thank you for watching.